Okay, good evening, everyone. So today's session is going to be really interesting. We have with us our speaker, Mr. Kuldeep Pisda. He is a software engineer at Goldcast, the founder of HappyChases. He has a varied experience in full stack web development, though he is more inclined in towards backend. He has participated in a lot of hackathons and won many of them, including SIH 2019, which is Smart India Hackathon. He has also judged many hackathons at several colleges and has also delivered some notable sessions as speakers. He has worked with several startups to enhance their products and services and also founded his own startup, which is HappyChases. So I'll hand over the mic to Kuldeep Pisda, sir. So you may continue.
Okay. Hey guys, I'm audible.
Yes, yes, sir, you are.
Okay. So yeah, we should start, right? Or we should wait for a few minutes before the students gather.
So we can wait for 1 or 2 minutes and we can start.
Yeah, sure. Let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes
Okay,
and then.
okay.
Yeah, so to all the participants, currently what we're doing is we are waiting for you guys to like gather and like make some noise in the chat and then we shall start. So yeah, till then, if anyone has anything to like, in general, anything about web development, about what is web and other thing, they can probably put those questions in the chat and then we shall pick them in the session live. Also, it will be better if you guys have, if you guys have your system and you're sitting right in front of it because yeah, because web development is a topic that like that is not it is not a theory subject that we can just read in and like will become pro on it. Rather, it is a totally subjective subject, and we have to be like we have to keep performing it actually. We have to keep writing code actually, and then it will make us good. So okay, Aditya, here's one question: should a beginner start with front end or back end web development? Okay, yeah, let's keep that question for later on when we have talked about when we have introduced ourselves with the web development. Then we'll probably start picking that question because we right now we don't know what is front end and web development, right? So that question is. kind of blank for everyone as of now. So yeah, let's pick it after some time. Anything else? Okay, yeah, okay. I think let's start then. People will keep joining, and when if they will keep joining, then let's address them later on. Yeah. So first thing which I would want you guys, I want this session to be like very interactive, but I am not sure like how we will make it happen because we are streaming here and you guys probably can only interact with a chat. So yeah, please put your questions on chat, and I think Aditya or someone will notify. I'm having a look over the chats, and I can then pick it up as well. What will be the correct pathway for a web developer? Okay, yeah, I will keep that question in mind, and yeah, we we'll take it up in later on. So, because I think the thing is that currently we don't know about what is web development and stuff like that. So that is why I think let's keep it aside for a moment, and then yeah, let's wait. Yeah, okay. So let me start with me. So I am Kuldeep. I am a full stack developer, but lately working with backend and cloud mostly. So if you have anything related with cloud or backend, you can hit me up with that question anytime, and I can pick those questions and help you with that. Apart from it, I was an entrepreneur, but for some reason I dropped off, and since then, I have been working with a startup, Goldcast, and yeah, have been working with them, learning new things and stuff. So yeah, as Aditya notified, I have built several projects. I have built several products for my company, or as a core member at CodeVector Labs, we build several products for governments, for startups, and several enterprises. And yeah, that is what I'm currently doing at Goldcast as well. I'm looking care of the backend as well as a bit involved, lately been very keen involved with the cloud, making our infra secure, optimizing our infra, working with DevOps and security and infrastructure and all those things. Okay, yeah, so okay, so let's get started right away. So first, let me share my screen. I think that will be. Let me know if you guys can see my screen. Is it visible to you all? I assume it is. Okay, so yeah, as you guys all know that this whole series is divided into 5 days, and in this 5 days we'll be talking about several topics of web development, and starting with we'll be talking about web development, about HTML, CSS, JavaScript, some front-end frameworks, some back-end frameworks, and all those things. And at the end, I probably on last day I would like to we would basically talk about the career path, how you can get started, and other things as well. Give me a minute. Okay, guys. Okay, so let's get started. What is web development? Yeah. So let's talk about how we communicate, right? As we know, if you want to communicate with anyone, language is very important. And what is a language? It is a some sort of input output that that both the parties around the whom are trying to communicate, they understand both. They understand that language, They understand that encoding and decoding of input and output. For example, let's say if I'm communicating with you guys right now, so we are using English as a language, right? I'm talking in English, and you guys can hear and understand what I'm talking about in English. So just understand how we can make computer communicate, right? Like we want to communicate with computers, and we want to make it do several things. If I define what I mean by several things, then maybe count a number, maybe do some validation, maybe take some sample and scan something, maybe take some raw images and define it, or in general anything, right? Basically, it will just we will give them some input, and we ask them some output in return. So that's why we have defined some languages in computer. And HTML is one language that is defined for web development. So let's understand what is web, right? So if you want to communicate, so we all of us right now, we use we use WhatsApp, we have all sorts of app on our mobile applications, be it Instagram, be it Facebook, or be it anything. uh, so all those things, we type something on the chat, and when we press that enter button or send button, it magically appears on some other devices. Be it can be of your friend, or it can be anywhere around the whole globe. We're not just talking about the person sitting right next to you, but the person who is quite opposite, who's literally opposite in the globe. You can talk with them in the real time, right? So this is all web about, like connecting all the people and all those things. And that is web is one such mode of communication in computers that we use mostly. We use it mostly for we use it mostly in our day-to-day life, be it sending email to someone, sending some messages to someone, sending some emails, sending some photographs, sending some videos, and all those things. We do all such sort of things with web, right? And if you say that, WhatsApp is just a mobile application, then how actually it is web? That is one question that probably anyone may ask, that yeah, like WhatsApp is a mobile application, Instagram is a mobile application, but how it is related to web? So yeah, if you talk about it, yeah, they are a mobile devices. They are a mobile application that are operating on top of web. Web is something that is basically empowering mostly all of those technologies that are currently in our hand. So yeah, HTML is one such language which we use in web mostly to represent something on the browser. For example, you are currently probably, if you are using your laptop, then probably you are watching this session on YouTube. So what is YouTube? YouTube is one such platform which is again everything that you are seeing, right, from the YouTube logo, from the hamburger icon, from the search icon, from the search button, from the mic button, to this video segment which is currently playing live in front of you, is also a part of web, and it is also empowered by some language, some sort of thing that we know. And that is one thing that you will encounter the most if you are new to web development. So yeah, let's talk about HTML. HTML stands for hypertext markup language. So what is HTML? HTML is one language which we communicate with the user who is consuming our web service via some of the clients. So for example, if you're watching it via a browser, via web browser, then that web browser is actually an HTML client, and we are from server, we are returning an HTML document that is being consumed by the by your client. In that case, it is your browser, and that is what being converted to that is being converted to what you are actually seeing right now. So let's say, how does this HTML looks? Okay, like how does this language look? Because it looks very beautiful to us, right? Like we have some nice icons on the top. We have some nice buttons on the top, on the side, everywhere. We have a beautiful looking website. But how does the browser understand that they have to show that thing specifically at that specific a specific page, right? So yeah, let me share my screen and let's deep dive into it. So I would let me share my screen, whole screen. Are you guys able to see it? If you guys, then yeah. So Google.com. Let's talk about Google.com. It is one website that mostly all of us use very frequently. Google.com website has become so famous that we use it often to check our internet as well, right? Like when our internet does not work, we just open this website and we try to find out if our uh, browser is working or not. So yeah, we were talking about the HTML, right? So is it actually how it is actually an HTML? So for example, if you visit any website in your browser, you can know you can actually see that source. So for example, if I right click on this page and if I click on inspect, you will see that I will something will open on the right side, and it will have something like this, like doc type, HTML head, body, style, div, and then forms, some text areas, scripts, and all those things will be there. If you do the process that I just did, like right clicking on your website, right clicking on that page and clicking on inspect. So what is HTML? The code that we are seeing on the right side, that this whole section, that yeah, we are able to see something something which we are not quite familiar with, and something that does not make much sense to us as of now. But yeah, it makes much of the sense to the browser that is actually consuming it, and that is how the language works, right? Like it should be understandable to the parties who actually wants to understand it, who actually wants to communicate in that way. So maybe you can consider it like a way that it is a medium between it is a medium for us with which we are communicating. So like for example, I don't need to worry about writing this HTML. I just need to type whatever I want to. Let's say I want to search HTML. I will just press enter, and again it will if I send it again, you will see it will again give us some HTML. It will again return us with some HTML, right? That HTML is now updated one. This is not the same one that we were receiving earlier, and that is how whatever we see in our browser gets updated. Whenever we make some request, it is what that gets updated in the real time, and that is what we get. So yeah, let's see about it. So let me know how if you are able to see. Okay, I think I'll have to share it the other way. Yes, so we were talking about HTML, hypertext markup language. So it is one such sort of a it is one such sort of a format with which the browser and the server communicate, and this is how we see them. That gets basically converted into something that we see at the end. So let's talk about a simplest HTML document, right? So if we talk about it, let's write it. So if we talk about it, HTML is any HTML document is usually in this format. Like it has something like doc type HTML tag in top of it. It has those HTML tags. It has one head, something like that. It is you can find title, you can find again head with some slash, and you can find body h1p that are all surrounded with angular brackets, and yeah, that is a syntax of HTML document. So yeah, let's dig more into it, right? I think that will be fun. So let's open VS Code and let's get started with it. So I will share my screen, and yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah, let's take the earlier example that we were talking about earlier, right? Let's make it hello.html. And so, yeah, what do you guys need to code in HTML? HTML is very easy thing. And if you want to code in HTML, then we just need browser and we just need a text editor. Any text editor you have, you can code you can code your HTML file in it, and you can simply open that file in any browser, and that will work. So let's try the example that we saw earlier. Just right now, we had some hello world document, and yeah, we had this one. So that was about doc type HTML. Then we had this HTML document. We had this head document. Then we had this title. Okay. Then we had this title document, and then yeah, we had a body. Then we had one paragraph that was written. This is a heading, and then we had a paragraph. This is a paragraph, right? So this is one of the simplest HTML file that we can talk about. So how let's try to understand this, like how does an HTML breaks up and how does it work. So if we see, so let's try to understand about, about what does it mean basically. So if we see about the HTML, so this doctab HTML declaration defines that this document is an HTML document. So whenever, because the browser needs to understand about what kind of document it is. So for example, just right we saw that, when we open this page, it will just get plain text in the response, and the browser has to manipulate it, the browser has to understand it, and it has to show us in a very beautiful form, as we are seeing. Like it has to understand that whole text thing that is being written by the server, and then it has to paint that whole beautiful page in front of us. It has to draw the buttons, it has to, plant some shadows behind those divisions and all those things. It has to do all sorts sort of things, right? So how does it understand that, for example, whatever it is returning, first of all, we need to define, that yeah, the file that you're currently that you're retrieving, that you're getting as of now, is an HTML file, and you have to pass it like an HTML. Then only it will understand it, right? So this is one such thing. This is one beautiful practice that we have to do. Even if you don't pass this job type HTML thing, it will understand it and it will pass it. But it is recommended. Even if you don't write it, the most browsers will work. But yeah, it is a good practice to. It is a good standard to define that yeah, this doc type is an HTML document. Then you see this HTML thing, right? So this whole HTML block. So let's understand. Let's first check what is this. This Angular braces that we are seeing as of now is actually one of the basic element of an HTML page, or is one of the basic fundamental thing about HTML. So these are known as tags. So this HTML that you're seeing right now is a tag. This head that you're seeing right now is a tag. This title that you're seeing right now is a tag. Again, this body that you're seeing, the H1, the P, are all tags, right? So these are some tags that define something. So for example, any document, any of the HTML document that we have is actually wrapped inside an HTML tag. So for example, this is the basic skeleton that every HTML file must have. So it must have an HTML it must have a single HTML outliner document, outliner tag that should further have these two tags, head and body. Head is a part that is used basically for, loading some CSS files and other. When we will jump into CSS, we will deep dive into, when we'll be implementing it, we'll be learning more about these use cases. But for now, you can consider we can define the title of the web page as of now, and that is how, like, everything that you see on a web page is defined on this body tag. So everything that you don't see but are needed, like loading some analytics functions, loading some CSS file, loading some styles, loading some JavaScript file from some other sources, or every such sort of thing, including defining the title that is appearing on the web page, is defining the head tag. Everything that has to appear on the body has to appear inside the body tag. Okay, so let's open this thing quite quickly, and I think that will be helpful. If I open this, so I just open this thing. So yeah, what you need to do is, you don't need to run any such server or anything. You can just open the you can just open the location. And for example, let me show the simplest way. Just for example, since I am using Mac, I have a finder. In your in your operating system, you will have something similar like this. Probably that will be you can that will be probably file explorer or something like that. So you can just open that file explorer and you can use it. I will try some shortcut so that I will just open that file. I will open quickly to save all of us over time. So yeah, we what is the file that we saved just right now is called hello.html, and it is stored here. It is stored here. So what we need to do in order to run it, we don't need to do anything like anything fancy, anything like special. We just double click on it, or you can just double click on it, and it will open on your default browser. So, otherwise, if you use multiple browsers, you can do something like this. Like I did, right click on the file and just click on open with, and just select the browser that you would want to see it with, and yeah, here is a browser with you. Whatever changes you will do over here will appear directly over here. So let me keep them side by side so that we can just see, like, how we can update it. Okay. So yeah, let me do one more thing. Let me arrange them. I think that will be more helpful. This thing, yeah, let's combine them so we can see them side by side. Okay. Okay, I think it looks good now. Okay, yeah. So as I was talking about, like, the title that we are seeing right now. So that also tells us one thing. What is the title, right? Whatever the title of the web page is, usually comes in the top of the tab or the window that you're currently running with. For example, I'm opening that web page in this tab. So I have supplied the title as a hello world, and it is coming right over here. So yeah, you can say hello world and iTalk. You can save it. What you need to do to make the change is just refresh the web page, and yeah, you will see it is instantly changed, and like accidentally dragged it, so it got busted. But yeah, we are back here again. So yeah, likewise, you can write over here, this is a heading, so you can make it, you can update it to this is heading number 2. You can save it, you can refresh it, and it will literally appear within an instant. It does not need some, like, some reloading time or something like that. You just refresh the page and it will directly appear over here. So yeah, this is how simple the HTML is. And yeah, so as I was talking about, this is the basic structure that we have to follow in all the HTML documents, all the HTML files that we would want to build. So yeah, they have an outer tag and HTML. They have an they which we should we should strictly contain these two things, head and body. And then again, anything inside head is something to be something to be processed by the browser, either to show it in the top of the page, show it as the heading of the page, or be it loading some of the external resources, some fonts, maybe some CSS, some stylings, maybe some JavaScript files or something like that. Anything that you would want to do something like that, then you can do that in head. And anything that appears to you comes inside this border tag strictly. So anything. So I think we are a bit clear about it, right? That how we have to structure our how we have to structure our HTML file. Okay, so yeah, we were talking about these tags, right? So these tags are the basic fundamental blocks of any of the web page. When I talk about the fundamental blocks, so HTML file is literally the collection of all these HTML tags. So this head is a tag, this body is a tag, this p whatever you are seeing is a tag. You are seeing this h1 thing is also a tag, and likewise everything inside this HTML document will be a tag, and that's how the browser knows how to understand it. Now when we talk about this tag, so we have to for example, when we code in C++, we have to use braces, right? We use these braces and we define we write something like C out, and then we do hello world, right? That's how the code understands that this is the block that belongs to a function. Likewise, in HTML we had to close the tags. For example, when I wrote HTML here, then by just simply appending this backslash, I can denote that, yeah, this is the territory of this HTML tag, this is the territory of this head tag, this is the territory of the body tag, and that is how it will club all those, combine all those tags together, and it will represent us in the browser, right? So yeah, Wes, today will be a bit, like, a bit lengthy thing, because we'll be talking about HTML and CSS, and I will tell you about places from where you can learn, because like we have limited time, and like, I don't want to talk about things that you can easily find on the internet. So I will reference you one. We will take reference of one such website from where you can also learn, from where I learned, and I think that is the great and simplest places where you can start your web development journey. So yeah, as some people have asked, like, what is the correct pathway for being a web developer. So yeah, like getting started right from here is one step to get started with. Okay, so yeah, this is one of the basic topics. So after this, we will be talking. We'll be taking help of one of the websites, W3 Schools. That is one website that that has helped me a lot, and I recommend this to everyone. And I will be walking you through this, because I know I cannot teach you everything in this 2 hour session, and I feel if I teach you how you can learn those things that I learned, then probably it will be the biggest giveaway of this session, right? From where you can find all those things, and from where you can all learn those topics and stuff. So yeah, and also, yeah, like this is not some, like, science, some rocket science that we have to understand. The rocket science that we'll be learning definitely will be coming tomorrow, when we'll be learning JavaScript and ES5 and other things. But today is not, HTML is not that rocket science. So yeah, we can simply walk through the whole, document sort of thing, you can say, or a tutorial sort of thing that W3 Schools has provided, and you can, after this session, you can also refer those things in the in your learning, in your for your reference, from where you can pick it up from where we left. So I am putting it on chat. So probably when people will see this chat, they will be a bit delayed, because they will have no idea about what I'm talking now. But yeah, let's confuse them. So okay, let's talk about HTML. Okay, so as we were talking about, right, this HTML document must start with something that is, we should define, we should tell the browser, or the anyone that is consuming it, that this is a document, and the type of this document is an HTML, and the HTML document itself begins with HTML tag, and ends with this HTML tag itself. Okay, so in along the session, I will not be just, like, reading over it. Rather, I will try to build something parallelly as well. So that you don't feel like, if you guys are cheated or something like that. I am just taking it as a reference, because so that it will be easier for you to follow up after this session. And meanwhile, we'll be building something so that you can connect with it, and you can get the confidence that, yeah, we can build it too. Okay, yeah. So, for example, let's talk about very, very small things what we want to do. So, for example, whenever we want to build something, whenever we want to, like, let's say we want to build. Let's say you're making your class note, right? So, there are certain things that you care more about, right? There are certain basic things that you care the most. For example, like how you will, how you will, write the title of the page, how you will define the headings on your notes, how you will style it, which colors you will use to write, define the, define the title, which colors we'll use to define a very specific key points. We write those MP tags and stuff like that, right? So likewise, whenever we're building a web page, there are certain basic things that we all should know, that we can that can be, that are, like, headings, that are like paragraphs and all those things. So yeah, let's just jump into it. So the thing that you are seeing right now here in my screen, in the focus, let me increase the font size so it will be easier for you guys. Okay, this, not this. Let me see the settings and try to increase the font. I think that will help. Settings, and the font size is what I'm trying to increase. Let's make it 20 and see if it works. Yeah, I think it is much better. Yeah, I think we can work with it. Okay, and also I realize that it is not that equally divided into the screen. So okay, guys. So yeah, we saw this H1 thing, right? This H1 is actually a heading. Like this H1 is a heading, and it is the highest. Like it has the highest. So for example, we have 6 levels of heading inside the. Okay, let's go them one by one. So we have 6 levels of headings in the HTML. That is H1. The is the let's say this is the heading number one. This is heading number two. This is heading number three, and this is heading number four. This is heading number four, and then we have two further heading number five. Let's make it five. Let's make this five, and this is the heading number six. Let me refresh it and let me try to refresh the page. So, yeah, you can see that, right? That we have this 6 levels of heading that we can make, and yeah, this is a very good starting point to get started with, right? So today, let's try to make our resume and let's see how we can go about it. Okay, so uh, let's open. Yeah, let's try to build it. Okay. So yeah, so before that, let's go with this like basic tags and stuff, and then like how you can include images and thing, and then at last we will see about building something, building your resume or any web pages that might give you a bit push. So yeah, so we had this basic text h1 h2 h1 to h6 that basically defines the stuff on YouTube or something.
Yeah, I'll just check, sir.
Okay, yeah, okay, sure. Okay, yeah, so I can see them. Okay. So, yeah, so this is one these are the basic tags of any of the document. So let's try like what we used to do that thing, right? Like we used to yeah. Okay, so let me. I think it will go in a way. So we will
Yeah,
talk
it's working
about.
fine, sir.
Okay, yeah, I just checked this. So we will talk about the headings that will be writing. We'll talk about list that will be writing. List as in the numbered lists and the unnumbered lists that like basically that we get with bullets and all those things. We will see how we can include these images, and we'll see how we can include the videos in our pages as well. And I think these are the basic pages headings: list, numbered, unnumbered. Let's talk about tables as well. And give me a minute. ओके या सो हाँ तो ये हो गया एंड ठीक है लेट्स गो गो with them one by one. Okay, so we'll talk about this thing. So we already talked about lists. Okay, we also have talked about this paragraphs, how we can add these paragraphs and stuff. Okay, so uh, okay, yeah. So we have written all this time. We know what are headings and stuff. So let's remove them and let's focus on this thing. So one thing we need to understand is like this the first question that anyone might get is about this text, right? No, like whatever we are writing over here, are they are they case sensitive? For example, I've written HTML over here. What if I write HTML here, right? Let's see. Let's just find it out, and you will see it will still work. Oh no, I think my formatter is actually updating it, but it is not allowing me to. But even if you write it, it will still work. It will still work the same way. So the thing that we need to keep in mind is HTML is case insensitive. So even if you have some case typos, basically like some tag is written, a tag is opened in a small case and another tag is opened in a in a in capital case, then also it will work. HTML is sort of like, it is, HTML is like very forgiving thing. So for example, if you forget some formatting, if it is able to work with it, it will just display it. If it is not able to work it, then it will just simply display them as as text. It will just display them as text. If it finds that it is not able to pass it, then it will just print them as text, and literally it will print them as text, and that is the crux of it. Okay. So for example, let's try to do it. So if I save this, okay, again, sorry for it. The VS Code is very much intelligent about it, and it is not allowing me to do so. Yeah, number of times I will write it, it will just do it. But we are more smart than this. We are more smart than, so let's edit it some other way. I will update it via terminal. So I will open the basic. You don't have to do this. I am doing it because I have configured my VS Code in a such a way that it does not, so that it picks those mistakes, and it corrects it automatically. So that, when I'm working, I basically, I don't lose my productivity, and I'm able to work fastly instead of worrying about forgetting to print some, closing tags and stuff like that. But yeah, we will. But as to demonstrate, I will show you what happens when we do nano HTML tag. So yeah, this is the tag that we want to omit, and let's just remove this tag, and let's save this file, and let's refresh this file. So yeah, you see, even though we have not defined that HTML tag, it is able to work on it. But let's go further, and let's remove this body tag and see if it is able to work it, and you'll see, interestingly, it identifies them all, right? The only crux that currently are preventing us is this header tag, this doc type tag. Since we have defined it, the browser is able to understand that, yeah, probably some tags are missing, and it is able to work on it. But it will not be a good case when we apply CSS. In that case, the whole website will become a mess, and then it will not be able to display them in a very good way. So yeah, right now the browser has grown that much, that even if you have this broken HTML, then also it will work. The only reason, because they understand this, and probably they will come up with some tags that are missing. So if we see this thing, let's go over here, let's inspect them. So you see, in our code we have not put these things, but the browser is understanding enough that it is automatically putting those missing tags. But yeah, later when I started coding, it was not the case. But anyway, in any of the case, it is a it is a good practice to basically update them. So yeah, let's close this, and yeah, let's close. Let's update them. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that thing. So even if you miss those tags, it will not be a good thing as of now, because the browser are now very advanced, and they understand these things and stuff. But yeah, anyway, we should close this. So when we talk about tags, we have two types of tags. One type of tag is basically one type of tags are tags that we need to close, and there are other type of tags that we don't need to close. For example, when I am opening, okay, let's put this bullet tag doc type as well, and yeah, it will be able to. Okay, so when there are some tags that requires closing, let's talk about them. So for example, when I'm defining some scope, right, and I'm saying to the browser that this is one section that comprises of that is body, that is something that you have to show in the canvas of the web browser, that is what you have to print in the skin of the user. So that is once, since it requires some scoping, right? That's where we need to close these tags. For example, I'm talking about this heading, right? So I need to specifically define that these are something these are part of tags. Like this H1 is one, this H1 tag. The anything that is inside this H1 tag is actually an heading, and anything that is not an heading. So, and the same case works with most of the tags, but we have different segment of tags that do not require closing. So if you talk about them, let's try to understand, like, what are the cases that might require. So, for example, HTML has one more tag that is known as HR. HR stands for horizontal rule. So it basically just prints a line. It will basically print the line, and it does that. It just does that. So in that case, you don't need explicit closing of this tag. And one way to represent is by, like, writing this hr and, like, using this slash before closing that tag, before defining that tag itself, and it will work. So if we refresh it, so, and it makes sense, right? Like, this hr tag is something like we just want to print the horizontal rule, we just want to print a line, and it does not we does not need to know, like, that this is the starting point, this is the ending point, because it will literally print the horizontal line in the screen. So yeah, that HR tag is one tag that basically needs it. And so yeah, okay, let's keep it there as it is. So yeah, that was about the tags. Like, so we have two sorts of tag: the opening one and closing ones, and the tag that do not require closing. And HR is one such example of it. When if you will dig deeper into it, then you will find that there are several other tags that do not require a closing as well. Okay, so let's talk about this P tag. Like, so this basically denotes the paragraph. If I keep writing it, it will just repeat it and stuff. So there is basic difference about, like, about using this paragraph tag or not. So you will say, like, that, yeah, we are just, like, printing whatever is inside this P tag, but how does this make sense? So let me just show you right away. Let me close it. Let me do it this way, and let's do it, and let's do it. Okay. Okay. Again, sorry about this, my ID thing, but it will only, like, so even if it would have been here, then also it would have printed like this. The reason, because, because it does not know, like, this is, like, this new line is something that is coming in your browser, but at the end, when the this is coming in our text edit, or in our, or in case in VS code, but when it will appear to the browser, it will not be there. Like, no, there will be literally, like, this will be a plain text, right? This is a paragraph, and this is a paragraph. There is no segregation between both of these paragraphs, and that is where this, that is where this p text actually come in. So yes, this is, now if we use this text, then it will consider them, yeah, these are two separate tags, and this will treat them as a tags, and that's how it will work. Okay. Again, so now, since we're talking about, like, HTML, let's talk about, making the text bold, making the text italic, and all those things. Okay, so maybe let's make this text bit bold. Oh, okay, and also, in case, let's take another case, like, where we want to have this thing, but we want to be in the same paragraph, but we want to go in the new line. Okay, so how you go it? Probably. Uh, okay, just give me a minute. Okay, yeah. So what we need to do is we need to go in the new line. Okay, if I save this right now, it will appear as both are together, and yeah, yeah, they are. But how do we do it? So as we were talking about the tags, right? Like, we have tags that do not require closing, right? So BR is one such tag. So HR was one such tag. It stands for, like, horizontal rule, and likewise BR stands for one another tag that is for breaking rule. Breaking rule, or line, you can call it, in simple language, you can call it line break. So whenever we want to, like, skip the current line and go to the next line, you can literally put BR tag there, and it will go to the next line. So that is one way. And if we run this, you will see that, like, that this is in a new line, but again, like, this is in the same paragraph. You can easily distinguish it, that, yeah, this is one paragraph, this is second paragraph, and this is the third paragraph. And that is also the importance of this p tag over here. It is not simply hanging over there, it has some meaning. And this is the reason why it is very, very much important. Okay, so yeah, let's make one tag. Let's make this title bold a bit. So you can simply use this B tag and it will make this thing bold. It will make it bold as we do. Okay, H1 is already bolded, so you will not be able to you will not be able to see difference here. But I think if we put here, then it will make more sense to you guys. And yeah, you can see it, right? So the reason why we're not able to see it over here, because H1 tags are already in the bold style. So even if I put it, it is already applied, right? So it won't make it like more bolder. It will just keep it there. If you want to make it more bolder, then we need to use CSS, and explicitly we have to apply the style files, and that's how it will do it. Likewise, if you want to like if we want to underline this thing, how do we do it? You can just simply call this U tag, that is for underlining, and yeah, you will see the magic that yeah, now we have a underline over this text. Likewise, how do we make something italic? Italic as in the text in a tilted way. So we just put the I tag and you will refresh and you will see that yeah, magic now that this is a paragraph that is italic. So let's write them. This is a bold paragraph. This is an underlined paragraph. This is an italic paragraph, and this is a normal paragraph. And let's see, it makes more sense, right? Like this is a bold paragraph, this is an underline, this is an italic, this is normal paragraph. Okay, so yeah, these are like we are like understanding the basic HTML. We are trying to print some document. We are trying to understand how we can make how we can tweak HTML to print this text in a very basic way. And like we are not going into the UI designing thing and stuff, because we'll be picking them later in the session. Like when we were talking about React and other thing on Wednesday, most probably. So then we will talk about selling and stuff. Right now, we need to understand the basics of HTML, about what are tags and how basically how what are the base function of this HTML tags and stuff. Okay, so yeah, we talked about the headings, paragraphs. Now let's talk about lists. So let's segregate them. Let's put a new line, and yes. So yeah, let's put a new heading. What say? That no, this p tag does not won't make much difference over here, so let's remove them from here. And yeah, this is a heading for list, for a list. Okay, and yeah, you just refresh it and yola jadoo. Okay, so yeah, again, let's understand this. I have what did just happen? What magic did just happen? So yeah, there are two types of lists. One is one is ordered list and one is unordered list. So what do I mean by ordered and unordered? So uh, let me let me just put those two things and let me use this text. Okay, you will see the difference. So this UL represents this u in this UL represents unordered list. List means like you will have this bullets and stuff, and you can configure this bullets. So for example, right now this point is coming. You can make it to print something else as well. Likewise, in ordered list again. Every list item is surrounded by either of these tags. Like either it can be a unordered list or it can be a ordered list, and excuse me, any list item inside that list will be represented by this li tag. Okay, so this UL basically is representing like the type of list, whether it is ordered or unordered, and this li tag is basically representing that specific item. And again, as we did, right, we can use this bui or any such tags over here inside this list, and it will just work right away. So it is not like that will work inside only the paragraph, but it will work inside here as well. So if you see, you can see that this is a bold list now. Likewise, you can use underlined, or you can format it with as an italic as well. So this was about the ordered and unordered list, and we can actually pass the we can basically pass the right now you are saying this 1 2 3, right? We can make it we can make it we can make it to use something like ABC or something like that. Okay, let's see how we can do it. So when we go on the order list, we need to pass how do we want it to appear. So that is one tag that is known as type. Okay, so if you see over here, like we have this we have this we have this 5 types of possibilities that represent one thing. So let's use them one by one. 4 and 5. Let's make let's make it A, and let's make it small a. Let's make it I. Let's make it capital I. Okay, and you will see the magic. Like that, for example, when we did not pass anything, or when you pass type A as number one, it will basically start the list with 1 to 3. When we pass type A, it will start with capital ABC. Likewise, when we pass type as small a, then it will print the list like this, and likewise so on. A capital I and same for the small I as well. And the thing is that this is how we define, this is how we can use this type to actually type to basically segregate to format our list in a specific way. And again, the good thing is that uh, the good thing, I think it just slipped from my mind what I was about to say, but type okay, yeah. So the thing is that now you don't need to make your paragraph like this, like 1 point, and this is a list, then make it 2 dot, let's put HR to basically segregate them. And if you see, yeah, it will still print them as like this, but you will see the difference, right? That this is a proper list and these are just one. We are just trying to fake a list over there, and we're just manually printing the indexes over there. Whereas it is very easier when we use this thing, when we just pass a type and we use it to share. Now the question that you might have is how about when we want to when we want to make our list start from a very specific start point. For example, we have a list, but I want to start from let's say start equals to 5 or 4. How will it work? So yeah, you'll see it will work. It will start from 4. Likewise, when we pass the start equals to, let's say, C, let's see if it works. And yeah, so this works only in integer. Likewise, but it does not work on this character ones. We have a different way of doing on this type of types, like capital A, small a, and other things. So yes. Okay, so we talked about this as well. Now let's go on to images. So, you will see a lot of images on any of the website which are embedded at some places, and how we can include them. So yeah, let's see how we can improve them. So one basic thing to have that image is to know that is to have that image locally first at your place. So let's download one image very soon. Let me go to Unsplash, because Unsplash is a free. Okay, I have some type one SPLASH. Yeah. No, Unsplash. Okay, now it should work. Yeah. So Unsplash is a free website from where you can get free images for your for everything, and you just need to if you want, you just need to give credits to the original author. That's the only thing that you have to do. Otherwise, it does not matter. Even if you don't do it, but it is a good. It is a good manner. It is a good practice to give credit for something that we don't own, right? So yeah, let's download this and let's make another section here. And so yeah, in order to just to just to make it simpler, I will I will copy the image over here. Otherwise, it does not matter like where you put the image. You just need to pass a good. You just need to pass a good. You just need to pass. You just need to pass the path of that image, and it will work. Even if it is there in some weird location inside your machine, except the temporary folders, because temporary folders get deleted regularly, and then you will lose your image. So let's quickly make an image folder, images, and yeah, let's try to copy this image from here. So if I see, I got downloaded in this section. This is the image. Let's go inside the images and let's paste it, and let's rename it just to just for the quicker access. This image as bg image. Okay, and yeah, you will see we have this bg image over here. So how we can import this image in our HTML page? It is pretty simple. We just need this. We just use this image tag, and we just pass this src, and inside this src tag we have to pass the image. Right now, also now again the question, like, image tag is on tag that does not require closing. So because it makes sense, right? Because we don't need to define the starting endpoint. We just need to pass the source, and it will treat it will use that as an image, right? So yeah, so there are two cases when we want to display the images. Like one case when we have the image locally, and one another case when we don't have the image locally, and we want to reference it from some cloud. And yeah, we are going to look in both those options. Okay, so yeah, first let's look into how we can import it. So right now, if you see, we have this hello folder, and on that root on that file level, we have this folder images, and inside that we have bg image.jpg file, right? So what we can do, since we want to import it here, on they both are on the same level, right? So what we need to do, we just need to type the name of the folder and then the name of the file, and you will be amazed that it is that simple, right? So yeah, so right now that image is actually very huge, and we have not passed the specific height and width of the image. So that's why, it is covering up the whole section. So let's try to fix it. What we do is, uh let's try to abide them by width, maybe. So width equals to, let's make it to 100%. And if we see, so yeah, what it will do is, when we are passing the width as 100%, it is actually fixing that image in the 100% width of this view. So if we see, if I somehow increase it, you'll see that, right now, it is using the current 100% view of that image, right? So this is one cool trick, right? So what we need to do is, yeah, we need to pass something. We need to pass the width and height, and that's how it will arrange that image. So since we have passed the width to be 100%, this will take the 100% width of the current viewpoint. So in current view, we have the width side of this, and that's what it is taking. So if we want to make it, if we let's say if we do it by height, then how it will work, and you will see that it will take the whole width of the page. So since we have this things over here, it is not appearing as a single thing. Otherwise, it will appear in a single screen as well. So yeah, let's fix them as 100% width as of now, and yes, this is how it is gonna work. Now we have another case when we want to fetch images from some cloud sources, and then we will say how we can do that. It is also very easy. Let's go to some online sources. Maybe some Lauren pick some for images, and there's one website, yeah, which I forgot, so that's why I just googled it. So what we need to do is, if you visit this page, you will see that it returns an image, and it is a cloud source that we want to use, and that's what we are going to do right now. Okay, so again we do the same thing. Image src equals to, and we pass the source, then we pass the cloud source that we are going, and then again we do this. We close that tag, and the magic, right? So again, if we want, so if we don't pass the width and height, it will come in the in its original, like, dimension. So the good thing about this thing is actually, like, this picks about photos. So since we are calling this endpoint, it is returning as an image which has a width of 200 and which has a height of 200. If you increase it to, if you make it 400, then yeah, it will increase its size as well. Yeah, but even without that, we don't want to, we do the size, the width and size of the image does not matter. We just want to make it fixed to our current viewpoint. And again, we just need to make it we just need to make it with 100%, and again it will just suit our requirement. So that is how we pass some this is how we, like, import, this is how we display some images in our website. Now let's look for the videos. Laurel have some, I'm not sure about this thing, like if we have something like that for videos, but uh, okay, no, we don't have that sort of thing. So yeah, let's try to have that, like, video thing from our local itself. So what we need to do is, again, like, we just need to have this thing here, and we just need to pass some source, and again src, and again, and oh, equals to this, and we just need to close this text, and it is like that itself. Okay, so every video is actually encapsulated, is divided in two parts. One is the video tag and another is the source tag. So similar to the image src thing, the source thing again can, like, it can have two things. Either we can pass the path of the image that is, sorry, the video that is there locally available, or we can pass the source of the videos that are available on the cloud. So it will not work if you simply go and, like, YouTube, and so just copy the URL that we're seeing, and if we hope that it will work, then no, it is not gonna work, because they are actually not just, like, using, they're just not playing the videos like that. They're actually streaming the videos, and that is not currently that we are gonna look as of now. So yeah, let's go into the simple example. The simple one that will be about. So yeah, again, let's make a folder of videos as well, and let's put some videos over there. So we go again on downloads. I think I might have some videos. If not, okay, I have one video. Let me copy it and go back over there, and now, okay, yeah, now we have the video. We rename it as a sample.mp4. So again, now we have that video available with us in our local one. So yeah, we have videos. It looks good, right? So what we need to do is we just need to pass the source again. We do videos and send sample.mp4, and if we refresh it, then boom, we have this. Okay, again, so yeah, again we need to pass the height and width of this one. So let me fix it to the current 100% of the width, otherwise we won't be able to see it. Okay, now the thing is that if you see, it does not look at all like a video, right? It just looks like that we have a image that is embedded over there. So the question is, how do we make it work? So how do we make it work? We need to do something on the HTML thing. So that we'll do. So, for example, if you want to show so for example, like, whenever, if you see in YouTube, like, we have several options, right? Like, we have the play pause button and other options like that. So likewise, in HTML we have basic controls, and if we pass this tag, if we pass this option in the video tag, then we might have some difference. And yeah, now you can see the difference, right? That now these options are available, that if you click on this, then it will work, right? And likewise, you have the sound option, you have this full screen, and this option, the playback speed, picture in picture mode, and other options. So yeah, that is also there with us, and this is one option that you get on YouTube for premium one, right? But in HTML you can get it for free. So yeah, this is some option that we easily get on this video tag that we have. Likewise, if we pass some crowd sources, then also it will work. Right now, I don't have any other videos that I think will be there in the crowd source. That's why I cannot. That's why I won't be able to show it as of now. But yeah, you should to replace the URL, and that video should be available on that endpoint, and then it should work. Now for example, what if I want to make it if I want to automatically play, so you just pass this autoplay thing, and if you refresh you will see this video will automatically play. But the thing is that right now the browser have implemented one security thing that does not allow automatic fee or that does not allow the automatic videos to play, and that's you have to do it manually. So we're not going to look into overriding that as of now, but I think that will work if I remove the control thing. And okay, so yeah, in the recent updates we have that thing. Unless something has changed the last time I checked, so yeah, it should be fine. Okay. Now again, when we pass this source file, we have several options. So if you know any of the video has several formats, like we have videos with mp4, we have videos with ogg format and other formats available. So if you also have such option, you can also pass a type over here. In our case it is an MP4 file, so we can simply pass it. You can simply make it MP4 and voila, it will work. So it does not make much difference. It won't make much difference if you have a single type, but it makes much difference when we want to have several types. The reason is because sometimes if my browser might not support a specific file format, and that is something that we don't want with us. So that's why what we're doing is we are putting it over there. Likewise, again, we have several options. For example, if we want to autoplay the video and we want to keep it muted by default, then what we need to do is we just need to pass the muted option in the video tag, and it will just play the video, but it will on a silent mode. So that was about the video one, and most of the browsers support it. But yeah, still you can just check before actually using it. You must always check about the support of any of the browsers. So yeah, this was about the video. Now let's talk about the tags, tables, not tags, tables, HTML tables. Okay, so if so, I think let's remove this. It is taking like a lot of the space. So let's just comment them. So how do we comment it? If you're using some text ID or tech code editor like me, then you just need to use control and the backslash. It will automatically comment it. But if you want to do it manually, then you just need to put this left. What you will I don't know what do we call it, but for reference, the left angular braces, then a slash that is followed by an exclamation mark, and then again one dot basically does it. So, and how do we close it? We just have this two dashes, and then again and closing braces that will make it. So if you see, I think this makes more sense, right? In the start we have this, and in the end this is this, and this whole part will be commented. Now if you see, if I run this, it will not print it. The code is still there. It is not like that the code is hidden or something like that. If you see, the code is here, but it is not, it is being treated as a command, and that's why it is not being shown here. So again, one cool trick, for example, whatever you see in your browser, you can actually manipulate it. So what you need to do is you basically just need to you basically need to go over there and right click over there and click on edit as HTML, and the magic, if I see it over there, now you can see, right? And also it is automatically playing that we had put also over there. Okay, so yeah, that is how it works, and this is why you should not, you should never trust the front end thing. So Tushar has asked one question: what is the difference between HTML and HTML5? So yeah, in a very simple, in a very limited terms, HTML5 is the latest version that has various functionalities. That is That is not there in HTML. So you actually won't get that because like now most of the browsers support HTML5. So even if you will write an HTML, it will be considered as an HTML5. So for example, this support that you're seeing right now, like the video support, the source thing, and this all those things. These were the things that were not there in the HTML and earlier version. So like not I'm not talking the normal HTML1 version, the earlier version that were introduced back in 1994 or something like that. Okay, so constantly like features are being added in the HTML and people sit together, people sit and then they basically update, they basically decide what the things that they want to implement, and that's how all the browser manufacturers they agree, okay, yeah, that this is the standard, that this is the one thing that we have to support. For example, right now, since I just need to pass these controls and I can see those options, right? It was not there back when I started coding. Like that option was not there. That and also it is also a part of the browser as well. This browsers understand that tags and they actually do some manipulation. For example, if for the same video tag in a different browser, you will find a different you will find a different different sort of a bit UI or a different player that is default for that browser as well. So yeah, again, anyway, HTML5 is a newer version that has a lot more features that HTML did not have. That is the simplest explanation of the difference between both of them. Okay, so let's move ahead. Okay, let me show you one more trick. So again, since you saw you can literally edit anything in the HTML and you can do those changes. So right, likewise, if you have seen there are many hackers or like many in a way I should not call them hackers, rather I should call them scammers. So what they do is they will there are many scamming companies in India that scam people in the east and in the west. Like they call the US people and they say that your computer is broken and stuff, and you need to make this payment. There is a this much amount of bounty over in your head, and you have to you'll have to, if you want to if you want to come out of the case, then you'll have to pay this amount and we will forward your case. So they will say that they will claim that they are from the government, and they have been charged for some for some issue and like that. So what they do is basically they do the simplest thing only. For example, let's say let me show you the very simple example. For example, if I print over here, let's assume that this web page is a is this web page is a website of Amazon. Okay. Well, why not? Let's take an example of Amazon itself, right? That will be very cool. So if you see, you can see several products, right? Well, okay, so maybe let's take for this professional tool. If we go over there, I don't know why the Amazon is broken. Sometimes Amazon behaves like this in my network, maybe. I don't know why it is. Okay, okay. I think I know because I am using the Brave browser and it uh, sometimes block the thing. So I think it will work now. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, they are tracking us in a hell other way, and they have embedded their web page with this tracking so that if we disable tracking, then we won't be able to visit. Oh, that is a clever hack by them. Okay, so let's go inside this. Let's check this. Let's buy this one. Now we are not using one, but I think it is my browser. Probably you might not get this, but since it is broken, let's go to Flipkart and see. Okay, so let's no, we don't want to sign in at all. No, we are giving a demo. Let's open this t-shirt, and now you can see the price currently it is being shown as 161, right? Let me expand this and let me change it. So I will inspect it, and you can click on here. It is a nice tool. Basically, whatever you will point it, it will show you the reference of that one. So I will click over here, and you will see that 161 is printed over here. Okay, so I can just make it 0, and voila, you can see that currently now the price of this page has been changed to 0, right? But if I add to this card, if I click if I add this to cart, it will show as 161 because Flipkart knows this that people can change HTML, and that's why they're not actually taking input from the HTML, rather they are fetching the price from their server, and that is what we should always do. We should never trust the front end because front end is something that can be changed, and yeah, basically it is a representation itself, right? So for example, let me do that again. I can change it here as well, but it will be changed only in my view. It will not be changed in the servers of Flipkart, right? So you can see that that now. Okay, I just remove the rupee symbol as well, but yeah, it is just for my representation, right? And again, okay, so let's do it in a proper way. Let's show it in a such a way that that we have got 100% discount, and yeah, let's change it. Let's update it. So let's make it 0, and okay, I think yeah, it automatically removed that symbol as well. Now I want to make it 100. I want to show it as 100% discount. So I updated it and I did 100% discount, and awesome, right? Now you see that we have 100. We have applied the discount and we have got we have got 100% discount, and the price, the current price of this shirt is 0 rupees, but it is not the case, right? Because the server, they know that the price of this specific t-shirt is not 0, rather it is something that was like 161 or something that was earlier there. So what they do, the hacker, they they call people, and they basically they connect with them via the computer, via via some softwares like TeamViewer or something, AnyDesk or something like that. So with these softwares, basically you can give access of your computer to them, and they basically do this thing only. They will click or right click, they will click on inspect, and that's how they'll change the value, and they will say that we have deposited we have deposited the value in your bank, and you have to pay us now. So they make the real transaction, but they have just simply played with the HTML, and they have just fooled them. So yeah, this is one cool way which I wanted to show you guys because I found it interesting. At least if you are a web developer, you will not be scammed like that at least. But yeah, those who are not, they get tension. Yeah. So okay, so let's come back to the topic again. So let's talk about tables. We were talking about tables, right? So let's build tables. How do we build table? Again, it is pretty much simple. How do we do it? Like we just write a table tag, and we just define a table. So anything inside this, it will be labeled as a table, right? And also, okay, we need to do this inside the body tag. Okay. So yeah, you will see that we have defined a table, but right now it will not print anything at all. So in any table, we know any table we have table headings, we have table rows, and then we have we have rows where in which basically we represent the data. So how we can do it? First we need to make a row, right? We need to make a row. So TR is a row. TR stands for table row. In a very simpler manner, you can call TR as a T as a table row, and then all the columns inside it will be called as TH. Basically, you can call it as a table heading. I don't know the full form of it, but basically these are the first row, right? The first row is always the heading one, so that's why we call it TH, table headings, and let's say name, age, and roll number. So if you see, if I print it over there, you'll see that these three fields are printed over there again. Now let's print some data on it. So again, we make a row, but now this time when we put the data, we don't put the when we don't use s, rather we use t, that is for table data. So again, John, and the age, let it be 19. The roll number will be 1611235, whatever it is, and you see now it is printed as a table. Likewise, if you want to add another row, we can just simply copy and paste this thing, and now you have the whole table with you as well. So this is pretty simple and straightforward. That we have a table, we have table heading, we have table rows, and that's how we print it. Now, like you can ask, but it does not look like a table at all. So yeah, we can we can define borders and other things that will make it look like a table. So again, but for that we will need to write some basic CSS and stuff. But okay, let's do it. That we will understand the basic CSS as well, and then probably we'll switch to CSS as well. Like we'll switch to CSS. So let's make a simple file. Okay, no, not inside here. We need to make it here. New file that will be index.css, and let's define that table, and the th and td that we are using should have a border that should be 1 pixel solid. And so, but will it make any difference over here? You will say, why will it make any difference? Yeah, like you might be shocked that why it is not making any difference over here. Or you will also say, ki, why will it make any difference? Because these two files are not linked at all. And how will the browser know that this is the style sheet that I had to that I need to pass? And that is where this head tag comes in. So we basically need to we basically need to tell that this is the style, and again this the again type is style sheet. And okay, give me a minute. Oh, okay, yeah. So again, so we have two options of adding CSS when we are adding CSS to any of the HTML file. One way is basically defining them in the header section here. Okay, and one way is basically one way is defining CSS right one in this file itself. One way is making a file and linking that file with it. So we'll be defining it over here. So one way I will show you. The first one is this, like we have defined over here, and we saved it. And okay. I don't know. It is not working. I think we don't need that. Okay, yeah, that was the issue. Okay, so yeah, by default the style will always be a style sheet. So we just need to pass how it is working. So we are defining. We are saying that for the text table T H and TD, border should be 1 pixel. The border is 1 pixel, which should be solid, and the color of that should be black. That is what it is showing us. Now let's go to another way. Another way is using the link tag. When we use the link tag, we have this one, and what we do is, yeah, we just say that the relation of that link is that it is in a style sheet, and the location of it is again the location of the file. So how, as we did for the image and for the video, the same rule will apply here as well. Like we can either pass a location of the local directory, or we can pass the CSS file from some cloud location. It will still work. If we see okay, the name of the file is index.css. So yeah, okay, so now it will work. Okay, so this is how it works. So now let's so yeah, this is save it. Okay, I want okay, yeah. So this is the HTML page, and this is the home page. Let's make it a home page, and yeah, this will now work as a home page. So if you see, it will print this thing. And yeah, how do we link it? Okay, how do we for example, when we know that like whenever we open some page, what we do is we click on the home page, and we click on the home button, and it basically drives us to another page. It pushes us to different page, and we see something different. How can we do it like that here as well? So what we need to do is basically there are anchor tags that basically does it. So let's try to separate this. I want to make it like that. Okay, so what we do is a stands for anchor tag, and we define as again sref, the anchor reference, again the same as the how we define any other file. If it is locally available, then we pass the local path, or we just pass the the cloud path, and it will both work in the same page. So uh, the same page. So yeah, okay. Let's make it index as the home page. Let's make it as a table, and make it to link to table. And if we refresh it, you'll see now we have two options, home and table. If we click on home, it will be the same page. But okay, yeah, my table is loading. name is hello.html. So I think mistake was there. I need to refresh it. And yeah, if I see, it is pointing to the same page, so it will not change anything. But if you click here, then you will see that now we are referring to another page. Okay, so let's update this CSS over there as well. We put it there, and let's copy this as it is, because I think this will be handy over there as well. And since we have good links, it will just work. So if we see now, we click on home page, we come on the home page, we click on the table, we come on a table page. Okay, is it? If you guys have any question, just feel free to put in the chat, and I will pick it there as well. Also, CSS, I will just give a quick intro of CSS and will guide you from where you can learn CSS. I think it is only about the styling, ticket and stuff, which you can probably check it out and learn. So, we'll talk about forms and other things in the next 10 to 15 minutes, and then we'll take up doubts from the chats over there. So yeah, okay. Okay, so yeah, this was about it. Let's make a new file. Let's make a form.html, and yeah, maybe let's update this as well. Let's make it form.html, make it form, and let's copy it here. Let's update it here. So yeah, this is a tedious thing that you will have to do, since we are on since we don't know about anything like anything fancy about React and other things, PHP other things. So that's why we will currently go with this flow where we don't know, and we have to do this tedious task of manually printing all these anchor tags, all the links of these pages in different places, in multiple pages manually. And yeah, that is how it is as of now. So okay, now if you refresh it, you will see when you click on the home page, we are on the home page. When you click on the table, we are on the table. When you click on form, we are on the form again. So yeah, let's change let's change the table, the title as well. It should be HTML form, and you will see that it will update. If we go on the HTML table, it is table. We go on form, it is form. We go on hello, it is the word I talk. Okay. Now let's make a simple form. Simple form as in let's make a login form with which where we will show the two fields, the name and yeah. Let's make a simple registration form where you are about to sign up for a page and how. So there's a tab known as form, which is used to define a form. Form as in collection of fields that comprise of a form we want to log in. We have two fields. One is the username, and another is a password. So the combination of these two fields are known. This combination of two fields is the collection of these two fields are basically a form, and that's what we define. Again, it should have a boundary, right, where the form is starting and where the form is ending. So that is what we denote. That is what we denote with this opening and closing tag as well. Okay, so when we do this, then we can define the input tags. Input tags. Input tags are that they will literally make the input block over here. We will see about it. Okay, so let's make a heading over here that S1. Welcome to iTalk, and uh, please create an account. Okay, does this look good? Yeah, welcome to iTalk. Please create an account. Okay, it looks like it will be bigger, so maybe let's make it S2 and try if it looks better. Okay, yeah, okay. It looks okay in my perspective, since we're not designer. It just works for me, at least. So yeah, we define a form, we define the input fields, and then we have several options over there. So for example, if you see when we want to when we want to put some fields, like we have certain fields where we can put only text. There are certain fields where we can only put the numbers. There are certain fields where we get an options, like sometimes we get a drop down, sometimes we get some radio buttons, sometimes we get a checkbox to check, and all those things are part of it, right? So this type basically defines it. For example, text is one field, and then this name is a field that basically when we will submit this form, then the backend server will get the input of this field in the name of the name that we will define here. Okay, so the type is basically defining the type of field that we want to put in the name of the field. of the input, and the placeholder is basically when there's no input, it will just like show that thing. So the name is not entered over there, but if I input something, it will just go away. Even if I put one word, it will just go away, right? So this is basically defining. So where we can type it like please enter your first name, and it will ask you this look ugly. It will look a bit ugly, but I think we can make it work for now. Or let's define CSS for it as well. Maybe let's say that the input will have the width of auto. Let's see if auto works. No, auto does not work. So let's make it 100 pixel. I think that should. Okay, it is not working as well. Okay, no. Okay, input is a field. Input is a field. Okay, let's do it on something like that. That let's provide some ID that name underscore fill. So if your name underscore fill is over here, and let's make it something like this. Okay, I think I'm missing something here. Probably that is why it is not working. But yeah, it usually works like that. It is just that it is just that let's not work over there because it will take some time over there to formulate it. But yeah, it will work if we put some. It will if you put some actually valid CSS, then it will work. So okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, we want to have the first name, we want to have the last name, maybe we want to have the email, we want to have the contact number, and lately we want to have two password fields, right? So let's make it name, let's make it first underscore name, let's make it last underscore name, and we are saying please enter your last name. And there we are asking for okay ID. You should remove this. I think this, oh, where is this? This, I think we don't need this anymore. So, okay, so let's save it and let's make it email field. Please enter your email. I'm not sure if email works. Okay, email works. So here, and then we have some contact numbers and please enter your contact numbers, and we want them to put the digit, right? So we will have to make it number. Now we will have to make it a number field. Then now the password field, please enter your password, and then we also have a field like where we ask them to put the confirm password field. Confirm password, please enter. No, please not enter, please confirm your password so that user knows what is the value that they're putting over there. In case if they have put something wrong, then we'll just tell them that because sometimes it happens, right, that we have some typos, we get some extra text and stuff like that, and sometimes we often miss what did we put and stuff, and that becomes a mess. So let's save it and let's refresh it, and you will see. Okay, it does not look very good. So okay, label for them. Let's uh, try this. The label for them. If it works, then we will use it, and I will shall tell you what are those labels. And okay, yeah. So if you see, this will be first name label for first underscore name. Likewise, label last name label for last underscore name, and email label for email. This is we had one for contact number, label for contact underscore number, contact and number. Okay, and then this is for the password. This is for the password. This is for confirm password. This is for confirm password, and I think it should be good. It should be much better. How we can it much better? Either we can put it inside a table, or yeah, we'll just find a hack. We'll just call the break line thing, and it will just put them in the new line. Okay, and again we put it there, we put it there, and we I think last one we go. Okay, now it makes yeah, now it looks a bit better. We need to enter the first name, we need to enter the last name, we need to enter the email, we need to enter the contact number, and we need to enter the password and the confirm password thing, right? But it does not look much good. So let's take two line breaks, right? So just and just yeah, just make it to line break, and I think it should work probably. Yeah, it looks a bit better now. Okay. So since we are not applying CSS, I think this hack will work for a bit, and it should be okay. So yeah, you can enter your first name over there. You can enter something here. You can enter there, and you can enter anything. But if you see, even if I type enter something, it will not accept it because we have said this that it should accept the number, not a digit, no, not a character, not a string. For email, I will come back why why it is still accepting the string. It is not blocking it like that. And for password, if you see again, this is this is still printing it as a single text, the plain text, but that is something that we don't want, right? So for password as well, we have a type that is password. If we simply do it, then it will just become different. Okay, now anything you put will make a bit more sense. So let's say if I put something over there again, so we want to have a quick validation about the contact number, like how as in quick validation as in like the contact number should be 10 digit, it should not exceed 10 digit. And for that we don't know JavaScript yet. We don't know anything about JavaScript. We don't know what is that word mean? What does that word mean? So for that, we can do simple hack that basically means that we can define a minimum and max point of minimum and maximum value that it will input. So for example, it is a contact number, right? It is a contact number. That means in Indian, if we see for an Indian contact number basically starts. It has a 10 number, but it does not start usually with 1000000, right? So let's assume that it will start with five. Let's say 50000. So what we do is we just put this here like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, so that we will the smallest the contact number that will accept is basically 5000000 continue, and the maximum number that it should accept is this one like 98. The any number that will accept will basically become 11 digit number, and that is something we don't want to accept. Okay, so if you do this, then I can put still I still can put it, but how where it will make a difference? It will make a difference when we make a form, when we make an input field where we say that this is an input field. Again, type is submit and value is submit. Okay. Now, if I refresh it and if I submit it, it will submit it. How we can make it. So, for example, if you see there are certain fields that are very very necessary when for this form. So, what we can do is we can define in the input fields that it is required. That this is required. That this thing is basically no, not read only. This is required. This contact number is required. This password is required, and this thing is also required. So when I save it, now if I refresh and if I try to submit, it will say this field is empty. And this is something that we're not doing anything. We are just telling the browser, we are just telling the HTML that this input field is required, and that's what it need to take care. For example, now this validation will work. Now this type thing that we're talking about, like right now, that in the contact number, the minimum value should be 5000000. For email, it should be an email. It should not be a simple string. So we will see about it now. If I see and if I say let's say 1 2 3 4 5, for password anything can work. And if I submit it, it will say that this is an email field, and we cannot have string field. Any email field must have an at the rate and the the .com thing. So .com at the blah 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 .com at the rate, let's make it at that italk.com. Now, even if I submit it, it will say the value must be greater than equal to 5 right? So this is the basic simple validation that we can do, without without knowing anything, without knowing JavaScript and other things. by just putting them in the HTML, we can do it. Now, how do we submit the form? So again, when we submit the form, like you'll see that there are always two options. Like one option is to reset the one option is to reset the form. One is to basically submit the form, right? So let's say if we just entered something and we want to reset it, so you just click on reset and it will reset the whole value. When you click on submit, it will submit the value. And how does it determine it? When we just make it input type submit and input type reset, these two things will make the whole difference. So you don't need to know anything about it, you just do these things, and you don't need to do fancy JavaScript that you just need to go and you just need to play fetch that field by some ID, some identifier, and then clearing that field. No, it is much easier with this simple plain HTML. We just define that in the input type, that it is a button that will be used to submit, that will be used to reset, and yeah, this is simple. This is like that, right? Now how will let's let's look for the how we can submit it. So like whenever we want to submit any form, we have this thing where we can either we can pass we can basically define a place where we would want to submit it. And before that, we need to understand how this basically form submission works. So there are two methods of submitting the form. One is create and one is post, right? So when we if you make it guest, and let's say if I don't define, so if you don't define action over here, then it will try to submit the same. It will try to submit the whole details in the same page itself. For example, this is this at this.com, contact number 9. Okay, password. I think that value will be a bit wrong, so let's just paste it. Password this. Okay, when I click on submit, it will submit. But yeah, it is submitted, right? But where do you know? So if you see, if I make the method as if I make the method as get, let me copy it and let me show it here. The all the values that we put there, it basically it basically gets printed in the URL, and then it is then it is passed to the URL that then it will be passed to the action URL that will be passing. If you don't pass any action URL, then it will submit it in the data in itself in the same URL that currently where you are viewing this form. Likewise, the other option that we have is basically you can make it post. If you make it post, then also you will see similar data. But right in this case, now you won't be able to you won't be able to see the data in the request at least. So that what makes it a difference. So if I submit it again, we yes, okay, please enter a number, submit. Oh, okay. I think I okay. Oh, I did some mistake. Okay, no. So though now too I submitted the form, but okay, this is there since earlier. Let me create confusion. It is there since our last call. Okay, so that's what is there. Otherwise, it is not there. Email at this.com. Okay, .com. Contact numbers. Let me print it. Okay. Password is anything and sending. Now if I submit it, you will see that the data that we just put does not come over here. So that is the basic about HTML thing. About we learned about the tags. We learned about different types of tags. We learned about the different basic tags, the heading ones, the horizontal, the tags that do not close, the tags that can be closed, the how we can make a list, how we can make a paragraph, how we can style them by calling the bold by making it bold Italian, or the underline and other things, by printing by having breaking rules, by putting the horizontal rules, how we can put the images, how we can how we can put the videos. We saw how we can again use tables and stuff, and again all those things that we learned here can also be applied here, like can be applied on any of the cells. So the it is not like that we have to call these things inside of this specific we have to call this inside in this pattern only. We can call this, these are like independent things, like this block is independent, this paragraph is independent, this SR is independent. for example, let me show you. Let's go to the table page, and if I let's make it a heading. How we can make it a heading? We just go there and we close it. This is simple example. So if you see, like, that this tag can actually be used. Let me quickly edit it. No, let me quickly edit it. No, yeah. So let me quickly edit. Let me make it the S1 tag, and let me close the tag. So if you see right now that this tags can be used anywhere inside in any of the part of the full web page, and we can make, like, we can put links over there, we can put images, we can put videos and all those things. Likewise, we can, like, create this forms where again we can make this first name, like, we can make it spark, we can make it bold, we can make it italic, and any other thing. So yeah, this was all about the basic HTML. Though I will say you that HTML, this W3 Schools is very nice platform where you can go through it. And just want to tell you the, like, what are the, like, how you can approach HTML. So the thing is that there are several things that you will find inside it. I will say it will not take much time in getting habituated with the HTML thing. It will merely take 1 week, with which you can basically learn the whole HTML, because it is nothing. Whatever I showed you, these are just those are the HTML things, and yeah, the HTML is closed now. Like, you don't learn anything else. So yeah, that was about the HTML. Likewise, we have CSS. Though as you see, we could not take CSS today, and we won't be taking it tomorrow as well, because we will be proceeding with the JavaScript, because CSS again is the same thing. Like, it again has some it has again it again has some similar syntaxes that you can use to actually learn CSS and other things, right? So yeah, I think you'll be checking. You can check out the WC School's website where you can check the CSS thing. HTML things is always one thing that basically takes very less time, because you just need to put how you can, like, how you can make the how you can make use of, like, the tags, like division, the heading, the paragraph, and all other things. And CSS are just a way to apply size to them. And like, there are several ways with which you can apply CSS. Like, there are some sort of selectors and other things. I'm hoping that you guys will go inside it, and I won't be I won't be talking about it now, because we almost have reached the time limit for today. So I'm hoping that you guys will go check it out today in like, after the session, and we'll work on it. So yeah, this was about the HTML and CSS. Though we did not talk about CSS, but I think it will be very easier. If you guys have any question, if you guys have any doubt about CSS, I think you can put it. You can ask me anytime. I will be happy to answer. You can connect with me on LinkedIn or something. I will be very happy to answer you those things. And I think it won't need me that. You can simply Google that, like, because you will find very big experts and, like, more knowledgeable people than me on Google itself, because it is a vast discovery of people, like, on internet. So not there. Now I will talk about the questions that people had asked. So Adit had asked, should a beginner start with front end or back end web development? So yes, any web development has basically two aspects. One is the front end one, and another is back end one, right? So whatever you see in the browser is basically front end. Whatever we did today, this HTML part thing is actually the front end thing that any user sees, right? So uh, that is the this is the front end part, and there is the back end part. So for example, in this example, like, we are trying to submit a form, right? You are submitting the form with a post method or a get method, but, like, if you see, we can't manipulate it in the HTML, right? Because for example, we will be having some databases, like, we will be having some databases like MySQL or Postgres or something like that, or maybe Mongo, where we would want to put our data. So that is something that will be handled by the backend, not the front end. The front end is basically just a place where we show user something. And backend is a place where actually, like, all the magic happens usually. Magic as in the logic checks, and, like, basically storing them in the databases is something that happens in the backend. So if Adit asks, so I feel, and every web developer has to start with this HTML thing, even if you want to be a backend developer. I would suggest start with the front end first, because then only you will be able to understand, like, how the web works. Because in backend you often won't work with the front end with the HTML things, but in order to make APIs and all, like, in order to define the contracts between the front end and the back end and all the other things, you must be aware about the front end thing. So yeah, at least something that is defined in these WC School's website about the HTML. I think it is something that you should look into if you want to be a web developer. So yeah, beginner should always start with HTML, and then a bit of CSS, and then JavaScript is one language that can be used for, like, front end and back end as well. So again, if you talk about the languages that is used in front end and back end, so front end we use basically we mostly use HTML and CSS, and everything that you see in a browser is basically a combination of HTML and CSS. JavaScript is uh, JavaScript is one thing that can be that is an like no that is an, what do we call it, exclusion. Oh, I'm not getting the exact word. JavaScript is an exclusion, like, that it can be used in front end as well as in the back end. So in front end, you can use JavaScript to make the websites more interactive. For example, when I am going this in this WFS school, right? So uh, when I click on this button, like, this thing pops up, right? This is something that is happening with JavaScript, not CSS. So at the end, this is the HTML thing. With CSS, we are making it beautiful, and whatever you're seeing it right now, this is basically a list in HTML. With CSS, we have beautified it, and with JavaScript, we have put, like, this interactions. For example, when you click on this button, this menu opens up. When we click here, then this basically goes down. So yeah, this was about HTML, JavaScript, and again, the JavaScript can also be used in the backend. Like, you can use various frameworks in JavaScript to build to build server, to build APIs, to interact with that databases and sockets and all other things. So yeah, that was about backend, and we will we will again touch it in the later sessions, like when we will be talking about JavaScript tomorrow. We'll be looking into the JavaScript and we'll be picking it up as well. So yes, as Aditya asked, yeah, we should. Any web developer should start with the with the front end. It does not matter if they want to be a front end developer or the back end developer. This is my opinion, and this is my. I'm saying it is not a required thing. It is my opinion, because then you will understand the web in a good way. Because in when we work on backend, often things are not visible to us. Like, because we are just defining context and writing something that will be basically consumed by the front end, but you won't be able to see it actually in like, directly end to end. So like end to end, as in terms of some, like, some buttons and stuff, you will be able to see those backend things in uh yeah, when we are working on backend, we will see those things as the HTML and stuff. Rather, we will be more like they're defining some context, making some APIs, like, you serving them as REST APIs or any other thing, and like that. The second question was with the Pawan, what will be the correct pathway for a web developer? So I will be like, I will be showing you a full roadmap of a web developer. But to start with, HTML and CSS are a great place to start with, and these are often, like, enough to give you very little idea about the web development. And then if you think that, like, you want to work more on it, then I think you should explore more on it. So yeah, these are the two questions that we had today. So far, uh, yeah, we had answered the question from Tushar about HTML and HTML5. Uh, Pratyush, thank you, Pratyush. Yeah, it was a great explanation. Yeah, okay, thank you so much. And okay, guys, then yeah, let's talk about JavaScript and ES5 that we'll be talking about tomorrow. So yeah, that was it from my side, guys. Stop sharing. Stop sharing. Okay. Yeah. So shoot me up if you have any questions, and we can wrap it up for today, since it's 8 p.m. already. Any questions from anyone? If you don't have, then I think you can simply close it.
So I think there are no more questions for now. So we
Okay.
can end. So we can end for today. Thanks a lot for giving a
Okay.
lot of insights, sir. We'll look forward to the next session tomorrow at the same time,
Yeah.
which would be
Okay.
from 6 p.m.
Sure. Okay.
Okay, thanks a lot, sir.
Okay, guys. Then thank you so much, and see you tomorrow.